Dr. Armstrong Takang, the CEO of Nigeria's Ministry of Finance Incorporated. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Afternoon to you too. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
It's a great pleasure. Is this your second day here? Have you been enjoying the conference so far?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's our second day, and so far we've really had some great experiences. We've spoken to a number of companies that we think have great potential for mutual investment relationship. So we're very excited about being here.
This is what I wanted to ask you about. If I can just get straight to it. I mean, how would you characterize the relationship and also I guess the potential relationship between Russia and Nigeria? And Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa, right?
That is correct.
Right.
That is correct. So I think that the relationship, at least the potential of the relationship, is great. I think so far the trade between Russia and Nigeria has been up and down.
Right.
But we believe that these types of events and summit provides a fantastic opportunity for us to really build the foundation that would allow us to solidify on our relationship. Yeah. Russia has some incredible businesses that have built incredible infrastructure. They have the resources, they have the experience that we believe can be useful to Nigeria in some specific sectors. Agriculture is one of those, mining is another. We think that there's great opportunities for us to collaborate at the mutual level.
There's a lot of movement in the world today.
Sure.
Regarding the diversification of financial economies.
Sure.
To national currencies and alternatives to the main reserve currency of the world, of course, the dollar.
Sure.
A lot of countries, whether it be BRICS or SCO, ASEAN, Global South, Africa, there seems to be some momentum to the usage of national currencies in trade between various professional partners. Do you think that is potentially something that Russia and Nigeria could move towards, exchanging in national currencies in trade?
Well, I think for us, our priority is one, to look for instruments and opportunities to facilitate trade, especially when it comes to payment settlements,
right,
and to also facilitate the movements of goods and services between our countries,
right,
and also reducing the cost of trade. Exactly. Now, if using third-party currencies that are not involved in that trade adds to the cost, then clearly it's something that we would look into. But I think for us, the priority is to put in place instruments, processes, and policies that would facilitate trade between our two countries, and also increasing the level of trade between our countries and building wealth for our people.
So, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, though, Africa is working on creating a free trade zone.
That is correct.
Is that something that Russia could be involved with or not?
Absolutely.
Do you think so, really?
I believe so. I think there's a great opportunity because the whole idea is to improve and increase the level of intra-Africa trade, right? So we should be able to trade with ourselves a lot more. But to do that, we need to build infrastructure. We need capital. We need partners that have the expertise. And I believe that is an area where Russia can benefit tremendously. So Russian companies can build businesses in Africa that they can use to produce goods and services that can be sold within Africa. They can also bring capital to be able to invest in those businesses. And we believe that the return on that capital is likely to be a lot more than they can get anywhere else because the headroom for growth is significant. So, to answer your question, yes, I think it is something that Russian companies can actually benefit from tremendously.
When you have nearly 50 African nations represented today here in St. Petersburg, it's a big show. It's a big show of, I don't know, solidarity perhaps. Some people have said that there's almost a sense of sympathy where African nations can say to Russia, we know what you've been through, mate.
Sure.
We know you've been under the gun, you've been under the hammer of sanctions for a number of years. We felt them too. There are all sorts of geo-economic things happening in the world today and constant movement almost every week on the geopolitical chessboard as well.
Absolutely.
What do you foresee as storms on the horizon for Nigeria? Because you're really standing up. You're the biggest economy in Africa. You're standing up on your own 2 feet.
Correct.
Are there any potential speed bumps or hurdles that might affect the prosperity and development of Nigeria?
Well, I think for us, as the current administration has clearly indicated, there are some macroeconomic issues that we need to resolve, and the government has taken some steps in doing that. One of them is taking out multiple exchange rates.
Right.
That has been taken away. We felt that that was something that was going to clearly create some economic bumps along the way. But we're comfortable that by taking the multiple exchange rate and having a single exchange rate, we believe that will help stabilize the macro. The second area is around the fuel subsidy that was gulping a lot of our resources.
Yep.
That again has been taken away. At the moment, there may be some pains, but in the long term, it's better because what it means is that it improves our fiscal situation and condition and fiscal space. It frees up more resources for government to deploy in capital projects to improve the lives of our people. We also believe that the need to stabilize our security is also important to prevent such bombs along the way. But again, apart from those things, we think that we are just as, we have the same situation as others in terms of things such as inflation, trying to keep inflation down.
Right.
And that is something that we think could also affect our rate of growth. But we need to take some specific steps to keep inflation down and improve our macroeconomic situation, along the way. I think if we can do that, and also attract investments in critical sectors of our economy, we believe that whatever storms there may be along the way, which we may not be able to predict everything.
Sure.
In the event that we come across those storms, we believe that these steps will help us be able to weather some of those storms and keep things under control.
I think that's a very measured statement and some very, very fair points indeed. Dr. Armstrong Takang, the CEO of Nigeria's Ministry of Finance Incorporated. What an insightful conversation. Thank you very much for joining us on RT International.
Thank you so much. It was also a pleasure being on the show.